Well, then tell us about the Blackbird.
Oh, this is A12. This is actually, I thought so. So this is A12 Archangel. They call it the Blackbird, but in reality it was born from the Oxcart program. This is actually known as the A12 Archangel, and it was the predecessor.
Is that why it has the double cockpit like that instead of the side-by-side?
Yes. So there would be the pilot and the navigator in the back.
Who also is in charge of the cameras.
Who also operated the cameras. And the cameras at roughly 80,000 to 90,000 feet would be incredibly high definition and a high resource.
Case in point, what we have right here.
Now, the very interesting thing here is that it was made from titanium, but what they don't tell you is that that titanium had to be obtained from the one source that we didn't want to get titanium from. The Soviet Union.
Because the Soviet Union was the only group that had titanium in that abundance.
Essentially, yes. Which was so ironic.
So it was basically the Iran-Contra deal?
No.
Well, that kind of thing. It's like, we can't let it be known that we're doing this.
There's a whole stack, like we're talking room full of stacks of Blackbird paperwork for the A12. Which led to the development of the SS-71, which led to Departure being canceled overall.
Well, it was canceled because of missile technology, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, because as surface area missiles became more prevalent and better as far as altitude, reaching high altitude, Mach 2 and Mach 3 speeds, I mean, aircraft themselves became liabilities.
Okay. Douglas DC-8's over there. What is the... I'm trying to see where they're freaking... Okay, so there's the Expo Center, which we don't care. Probably not going to the USC. Probably not going to Bank Stadium, right?
Bank of California Stadium.
Bank of California Stadium. So we're at the Blackbird. But we're probably not going there, are we? Unless you want to. So I'm wondering what's in the Wallace Allenberg building. Okay, this is where I can pay for parking. All right. Okay, so the Science Center also has the future air and space, but
That's probably towards the first place.
yeah, so the only way to get to it, but you want to see the DC-8, don't you?
Wouldn't mind.
Onward to the DC-8.
What are those two? Oh, Science Center that way.
Well, yeah, Science Center is that way, but the DC-8 is this way.
Okay.
So have you ever been lucky enough to go here?
No. No one was interested in going here.
Why?
It was too difficult to find parking, too much money to pay, and no one showed any real interest.
Question. Since when is free too much money?
Parking.
It's $15 for as long as you want, pretty much.
It's the same reason why we never went to the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force in Red Hatter Air Force Base in Dayton. Because all you have to do is pay parking, the museum's free. But $12 is too much money.
So when do you want to take that trip?
Shortly after we get back.
Okay.
And it's not just a museum of the Air Force, it's the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force.
So when's your first starting day? Well, hold on. We are at the DC-8, which sadly they took off the engines. Boo.
That's not a big thing.
Well, I find
The four engines were powered by four Pratt & Whitney J700 turbofans, which were not that powerful, but for the time, they were relatively impressive. Now, this is McDonnell Douglas DC-8, which is now Boeing.
right. It's a mainliner.
Which is just what they called DC-8 in the first place.
Is that stuff in the front? Is that air intakes? By the nose?
Yes. It's the same principle as jet intakes on jet aircraft. Or on military aircraft, I should say.
And they used to put the pitot tubes in the front until they realized it was very bad because they would get blocked with ice.
They still have pitot tubes in the front.
Well, I thought they have pitot tubes on the side of the aircraft now.
Here. They have two in the front, but they've been moved now. To the point where they have pitot tubes, they have four instead of two. Three. They have two on either side of the main fuselage. They have two over here. On the main side. And two on the port side over here.
Right. And of course, those doors hold the nose gear.
Yep. There would be two main wheels, nose gear.
And that was, of course, the door to the front of the cargo. Right?
That one right there.
Yep. And that was maintenance. Right there, that center one.
Yeah, static port, do not plug.
Well, no, I'm talking about the door
Oh,
right above us.
yeah, well, yeah, that was maintenance.
Because that would be where they could get to a lot of the avionics.
Yeah. Additionally, there would be a crew of three. There would be a pilot, co-pilot, and flight engineer.
Mm-hmm. And then we had the two doors for the back end of the wheel wells.
The very first DC-8 was rolled out in Long Beach Airport.
Makes sense.
And it serviced firstly with Delta Airlines as a launch customer. On September 18th, 1959. It was a 6 abreast low-wing airliner. So it was cramped. You had three main aisle, and then there were 3 seats. Now, this section would primarily be first class, but even then, we're talking like
That was the 2x2, wasn't it?
2x2 or 1x1. There was no business class. It was first in economy. Or I'm sorry, first in coach.
It was either you're special or you're like everybody else.
Essentially, it was superseded by the larger DC-10, which was capable of international travel. The DC-8 consumed a lot of fuel for very little gain and burn, and too much burn.
Was that mostly because of its engines or lack of fuel tanks? Or both?
Primarily the engines, because the engines were relatively primitive.
Basically chunky and inefficient.
Yeah, but from 1959, they were fairly advanced.
And also, I assume they were incredibly heavy.
Oh yeah, this was the McDonnell Douglas derivative of the KC-135 after losing competition to Boeing for that project.
Of course, then Boeing ultimately won both because they bought McDonnell Douglas.
Yeah.
And of course, that was after. What was the thing that really torpedoed McDonnell Douglas? There was a plane that just absolutely screwed them.
Yeah.
Is that the MD-11?
It was the no, that was actually the DC-10. which is ironically still flying, but it had a lot of problems and became feared and hated by passengers and crew members alike. They had, between 20 and 30 crashes between 80 and 95.
Okay, that is an impressive work of rebar.
Recycled metal.
Well, it looks like rebar. Oh my God. Computer chips.
Yep.
Camera. Bravo, Charles, bravo.
Lens, wrench.
A ratchet. Multiple ratchets. Yep. Oh, he used the back end of a computer motherboard. The area around the CPU. That's a 478. Yeah, wow. Sir, I tip my hat to you. That is impressive. Okay, we'll be right back. Alright, so we just witnessed something. What is that?
That is an early prototype derivative of an F-105 Starfighter.
Tell us about the Starfighter.
The F-105 was developed by Prototype Republic, the same people who designed and built the A-10, which is now covered by Boeing. It was one of the century fighters, and supposed to be the star of the U.S. Air Force's efforts over Vietnam, but never lived up to expectations.
It was the fighter bomber, wasn't it?
Yes, and eventually it was relegated to being the QF-105 as target drones.
Alright, shall we? No, we can see we can go that way. We'll be back in a bit because no sense in having you guys walk with us if we can't see anything.
So slight amending on the previous
Lockheed
F-105. I was right, it was Lockheed, but I'm sorry, it was Starfighter, but I was wrong, and that was not the F-105, it was the F-104. One of the Century series, and it was supersonic. It was then carrying nuclear payload. Never did, however.
It was done for training for a U.S. TAC Command.
Tactical Air Command, yeah. It was relegated to training and eventually target drone status.
Are you sure we're allowed to go out?
This. Oh, this is. I want to say this is.
Do you want to look at them from above? Come on.
Yeah. Oh, it's E38, and I was right. F-20 Tiger Cherry. The last remaining prototype, the F-20 Tiger Cherry.
Wasn't that the one that could outrun its own gunfire?
Yeah.
Basically, it could shoot itself.
Yeah. Because it was one big engine with wings.
Yeah.
Speed of Mach 2. Now, this, our dear viewers, you'll remember from the movie Top Gun, which was used to simulate the MiG-29. I'm sorry, MiG-28. MiG-28, which because there was no MiG-28. But they made up the MiG-28 and they used a T-38 Talon.
Look who it's on loan from.
Yeah.
It's on loan from Dayton.
Yeah. And that's not all. Dayton has, this museum and others, several artifacts.
So what missiles is it holding?
What?
What missiles is it holding?
Oh, Those are early prototypes of the A9 Sidewinder.
Look, they've actually got a mock-up of the pilot in the cockpit. He is just completely stuffed around with electronics. That's a lot of camera gear too, isn't it?
It is, and it carry two 20mm cannons right there in the nose, you can see. And the T-38, so notice, has no guns and no missile points because, again, it's a Cessna aircraft.
Yeah.
You'll notice that in the movie Top Gun, the original Top Gun.
Mm-hmm. Because that's why they were just using it for painting.
Well, they used it to give the F-14 something to shoot at.
Right.
And they essentially slapped a couple missiles on the tips, like generic missiles. I think they were vaguely supposed to represent A-12 Atoll missiles, which were in common use by the Soviet Union, which in itself were a ripoff of our A-9s. But primarily, the DF-20 was used ideally as an air superiority fighter, but
they had to stop because...
Yeah, because it was just too inferior, too fast.
Well, and I mean, here's the big thing that I'm also noticing. It had... what? I'm seeing... there's 3 different... aileron or flaps.
You have the ailerons, the flaperons, and the flaps in the front.
Right, but it looks like 3 sections.
All right, what you're seeing in the back, so that section barely moves. It has maybe a 10-degree view angle of rotation. The flaperon has a full 40-degree view or angle of rotation, and the aileron has a full degree view or full degree angle.
So you've got the big wings having minimal, but where it really comes from is in the back.
Yeah, because this is still developed with the idea of rocket technology. It's more of a vertical takeoff and landing than anything else.
Vertical meaning we just throw the throttle and it goes straight up. Basically, it jumps.
But the benefit is, without planes like the F-20, we wouldn't have such successes like the F-15, which is still regarded 50 years later as a pinnacle fighter design. The F-22 may be newer and better in most things, but there's very limited supply. The F-35 may be stealthy and state-of-the-art, but it has some drawbacks. The F-15 is so great they're making another advanced version, the F-15EX.
Which we'll also get to the other planes back there that we missed.
We'll get to those in a second, yeah. Oh, the Eagle 2.
Okay, so they have a special exhibits area that's closed. Ah, yes. To quote some people of our that we hate watching, fire, fire, fire. So let's see how incorrect somehow they are with this.
Fire science and safety. This is all about the science of fire.
Oh yes, fire triangle, which is, as always, fuel, oxygen, and I believe a spark. Yep. Fuel, heat source, usually a spark, and oxygen. And then of course, oh yes. Now, having lived in Southern California for 25 years, this is all can be put in a thing labeled stuff I already know. But still, it's good. So it's showing a bunch of stuff where, so cover it with a fine metal mesh, add weather stripping, basically keep it clean, which nobody ever does, trim trees, landscape. Yeah. And they really didn't get this fully up until much later on, which is when they realized how bad it actually was. And they're all 100% correct on this stuff. Yeah, the big thing that people don't realize, especially here, it's incredibly dangerous. In essence, your entire kitchen's nothing more than a bomb.
Which is why I don't like to use gas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, electric is good. I mean, you have to have the stuff for electric. Like, for instance, you notice that I passed your wire by your bed underneath the carpet?
Yeah.
That's why.
And the concept, the common concept is simply put a strip over this.
Mm-hmm. Because when you walk over it, every single time it wears it down. Oh yes. Oh yes. This.
Grand curiosity. Oh, yeah. Oh god. Of course, it's called jump, but still, it's
Yeah. Yes, the one thing that I am incredibly worried about our house. That's why I've pushed and pushed to replace the wires.
yeah.
Yep. Ironing AC units. Too many things plugged into one outlet. And I know I'm pushing my area pretty hard too.
Yeah. That is why wiring
Honestly, I understand why they're using fake fire, but if they weren't, it would make sense.
How do you put it out, buddy? Use one of these things.
So, what do we got here?
This, I believe, is the Wright brothers' very first airplane. 1902 Wright glider replica.
And then that's the NASA wing right there.
Parental D wing.
Turns without a tail.
And 1928 the Lee monocoupe.
Ah, unknown for the National Air and Space Museum. We've been there.
National Air and Space Museum, yep, in DC.
Mm-hmm.
See, this stuff gets me excited about science.
Oh, yeah.
This is what made me really regret not being better at math. Because if I was, my degree would have been in astrophysics instead of history. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love history. It's a passion. But.
You want to go in here first? Ah, yes, the Juno spacecraft. Oh. And Chandra Space Telescope.
Length of scale Chandra Space Telescope. I remember when this was launched.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Same.
my god, yeah. And the laureate Subramanian Chandrasekhar. Chandra orbits Earth to look at high energy X-ray light from stars and galaxies. Light that can't go through our atmosphere. Chandra is as long as a big ray trailer. Our model's 1/5 scale. Chandra's oval orbit goes more than a third of the way to the moon. Chandra is one of NASA's 4 great observatories, each one to look at the sky in X-ray, gamma, infrared, and visible light.
And then we've got the Juno spacecraft, which basically looks like a big shell. Almost looks like what we saw at the USS Iowa.
Yep. The Juno spacecraft arrived at Jupiter on July 4, 2016, and is still orbiting the planet to this day. Using Juno's special instruments, scientists can see deep in Jupiter's thick atmosphere. By understanding how Jupiter formed, we'll learn more about the early solar system formed too.
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, no. That's okay. Okay, this is the Juno. That's the Aero B.
That's the Aero B. The one looks like bullets. This is Juno.
Yep. They've got it just messed up a little. You're also missing the meteorites behind us.
I'll come back to it.
Okay.
1/5 scale Spitzer Space Telescope right
That's,
here.
yeah. And that's 1/5 scale.
Yeah.
Launch vehicle was a Delta rocket.
Spitzer image to Gamma G 4.1 plus 03, or 0.3. Turning infrared light with a wavelength of 8 microns. Spitzer's infrared sensors detect heat from objects that our eyes and the optical telescopes can't see.
And then, of course, we've got what's considered the daddy of them all.
The 1/5 scale Hubble Space Telescope. Probably the size of a school bus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if I remember correctly, you have some pictures of this thing. It's freaking huge.
It's the size of a school bus.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we have old school space outfits.
This is one by the Apollo crew.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Apollo command module. Oh, this is from Apollo 16 to be exact.
Yep.
21 layers and weighs 185 pounds on Earth. The undergarment contains about 300 feet of plastic tubing. And of course, your parents would probably love to see this, at least your mother would. It's the Mercury spacesuit. Ah yes, made by B.F. Goodrich. And then I believe we have, yep, we got the helmet and gloves. Which I believe that part in the film was a boom mic, wasn't it?
Yeah. It transmits directly into the astronaut's helmets and back to the shuttle.
And we've got our Estonian medal. Right. The interactive way to make energy waves.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I get the feeling it's supposed to do something, but I'm not exactly sure what.
Oh yeah, okay. Smoking.
Oh, that's a car.
Yeah, no, that's Apollo, remember?
Oh, so fun.
Okay, so we got the Vela 5, basically the
Vela 5 destination orbit. Vela spacecraft displayed here is a full-scale model. Satellites designed to monitor a banned nuclear weapon system. And Vela came to transport Vela to watch. Literally watch her.
Yep.
Vela satellites from the first evidence of gamma ray bursts in outer space.
But it's funny, she
Okay.
Pioneer
writes,
10,
for example,
full-scale model of Uhuru, the first space telescope devoted to studying X-rays. Launched from an oil platform off Kenya's coast, Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. From old supernova explosions, pulsars, and hot gas between galaxies. A light crossing a photon marks the cross of a black hole that emits X-rays into constellation Cygnus.
And this one, this is an actual prototype of Pioneer 10.
Pioneer 10 really was a space pioneer. It was the first to cross the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Nor was her spacecraft to provide the trip. For explosive data and images to Jupiter, she discovered wind cause of rays. In case encounters of life form, Pioneer 10 creates a platform to explain Earth's location. The prototype on display was used to test Pioneer's way to a spin launch.
And this thing, if I remember correctly, is the farthest man-made object from Earth.
No,
It's not. I thought Pioneer 10 was.
it's Voyager 1.
Oh, that's right. It's Voyager. And in regards to absolute crazy things, let's send monkeys into space, you guys.
Oh, so we had 10 dogs, at least we protect their animals.
Yes, we did. It's such a great way of protecting them. Look at it. That had to have been utterly terrifying.
Yeah, for the animal, yeah. Yeah, monkeys are sentient. They can learn how to adapt.
Right, which is why they have the black, white, and red. Ah, yes.
There's some two capsule.
What Ham went in.
Creation and Gene made Ham in space in preparation of human space missions. Short flight tests, the launch rocket and capsule. Ham performed tests in the flight just as he was trained to do on Earth.
Das waren die ersten bemannten Missionen.
Child scientists now trained that the muscles developing cooling processes for touching in space.
So he was put inside that capsule in the back and had Emrakul red, white, and black. But all the actual controls were set up beforehand.
Yeah, this is largely autonomous. It's controlled from Earth, and his capsule will be right there. And he's stuck in that.
Look at how many practice missions he went on. Because the rescue team members made yellow paintings on the nose of the capsule. Keep a record of what happened on each practice mission.
Yep. There. Oh my god.
Well, you definitely know he started getting less terrified after the beginning.
Yeah, because you knew what to expect.
Yeah. Dear God, the claustrophobia of this thing. Used to practice docking in preparation for later moon missions.
Gemini 11 space capsule.
Mm-hmm.
No, we should definitely be
Two astronauts living together in a capsule for several days. They ate freeze-dried meals and went to the bathroom using hoses and bags. To stand up, they had to put on all parts of their spacesuits and open the hatch. Opening the hatch would clean house to anything that wasn't tied down would get sucked out.
Yeah.
And look at that, it's a single joystick between the two of them, two escape hatches set up on rockets. Dear sweet Jesus, the sheer terrifyingness, because what I'm guessing is if everything was going wrong and they had to pop the hatch and then hit the escape, right?
Yeah. And they had to make sure everything was strapped down.
Well, no, if they had to get away from it.
Oh no, if they had to get away, then it was almost suicide at that point.
Right, because you would have to pop the hatch and then hit the releases, because those are modified ejection seats, aren't they?
They're modified, but they're not ejectable anymore, or they was made. I mean, they're crash seats now.
So, wie gesagt, es war zum Andocken. So ein Test zum Andocken, dann
TVs takes for you to get up into space.
3 days.
What do we do? Conrad and Gordon.
Ventured outside the capsule twice. He took pictures.
This one, and that one.
And this was in 1966. 2 hours, 2 days, 23 hours, and 17 minutes.
3 hours before Aldrin and Armstrong went on the moon.
And we have Pioneer Venus, Itos. We got Sputnik, Explorer 1.
Oh, that's it right there. That's it right there. No, that's not it. Which one?
Yeah, this is the stuff that I've always been really interested in. Okay, so we even got Mariner 4.
And for Eagles 1,
Mm-hmm. So that means that far one is Itos.
yes, that's Itos.
And then this,
Improved Heroes operational satellites.
yep, that one's Mariner 4. And that thing, that's the Pioneer Venus.
Yep.
And then over here, yep, we've got our Sputnik, and we've got Explorer. And you want to know what the terrifying part is, Brooke? That's how big it actually was.
I know. We saw the actual thing, remember?
Yeah, that's
At
true.
the Air and Space Museum in DC.
Yep, yep. Oh no, it's not the real one.
No.
So it's got to be a
Explorer
replica.
1. We saw the actual Sputnik.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's Sputnik.
Yeah.
Prototype. Or the mock-up, rather.
Model.
Yeah, that was 6401 model.
And then, of course,
Wait, tall guy. This one. To the Bella.
yep, where'd you go? So what do we got here?
This is the famed Apollo-Soyuz command module. The first U.S. spacecraft used for international human spaceflight mission. In 1975, American astronauts flew this Apollo command module to dock with the Soyuz spacecraft, parked in orbit around Earth. During this mission, called the Apollo-Soyuz Test Project, Soviet cosmonauts and United States astronauts
Kids being dorks.
cooperated in space for the first time, laying the groundwork for future international space missions.
And if I remember correctly, each one of these little vents was something that they would use for attitude adjustment, right?
Yeah.
Apollo-Soyuz command module, 1975.
Look, look at Frank.
Ah, yes. We probably actually saw this before because it's on loan from Smithsonian.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, the Viking. Remember this thing? Ah, yes. I think this was before the Mars rover.
This was the precursor to Mars rover.
They couldn't move around.
Once they found a crater, they had to stick with it.
Mm-hmm. And at least we know Howard Wolowitz didn't mess it up. I wondered how long it would take you to get that one.
I had to put myself in the comedic mindset for a moment. I'm a bit in awe at the moment.
Oh, I'm absolutely in awe. Oh no, this was... Oh, that's right. This was the early one. This was the real precursor.
Viking lander. Full-scale prototype of the twin Viking landers that touched down on Mars in 1976. Viking 1 and 2 were the first successful landers on Mars.
Yes, this is back when we were doing stuff, unlike now. This was this picture in the background was taken with Mars rover Spirit.
Yep.
Ah, and this is one of two, so we had enough money to throw two at Mars. Remember those days?
Yep. When we actually cared about space exploration.
Oh yeah. All right.
I couldn't see my arrows. I was like, where's my aim? I can't find my I can barely find my arrows. I couldn't find
This was 2 years after I left. I could have seen it in person.
a little bit, and then the arrows go down. I could see the arrows and the dots when I first went like this.
25 missions to orbit, Space Challenger returned the Lord of the Space Monument against the wall. one thing for you to do, like with science and the stories we see something we start to go back to craft or see what the LAX and the 68 or 63 Inglewood in Los Angeles passing about 1.5 million people who took the sidewalks. This is what celebrating is called.
Oh, and the worst part is this would have been the perfect freaking birthday present if I had been here. And the worst part is my parents didn't even tell me it was coming.
Because they didn't care.
Oh, Jesus.
There it's landing elements.
Brooke.
Oh yeah. Right here.
Right about noon. Being escorted by Air Force jets, I think, right? Or actually, two of the trainers. Doesn't say, but those
No.
are.
They're F-18s from Toby's Cantic Marines.
Oh, yeah.
They're Air Force unload to NASA.
That's funny.
Yep. Sepulveda and Lincoln. September 25th. That's when they removed it all. Because seriously, I would have lost my shit.
That would have been in the sea.
Excuse me.
So are we in the airspace now?
Oh yes, they had to take down the signs. Sepulveda. 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 Sepulveda Expressway. Or Sepulveda Eastway. Yeah, they had to take down all the signs, full prep, everything, and people just were so damn happy. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
The space shuttle is coming down the street. Oh.
I do enjoy Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, just look at the amount of people. The cops pretty much
It's on the
just...
Wilo trailer.
Yeah, the cops even just threw up their hands and were like, you know what? We're not even gonna bother about it.
Parking lot in Westchester near La Tierra Boulevard and Sepulveda Eastway.
Sepulveda.
Whatever.
Hmm. Yeah, they had to do that each freaking time they went through, because I believe these were controlled. Yeah, those were controlled and driven from those two,
Yep.
and they had to stop.
No, that's control, but there's a control room in there. So he controls the whole thing. Through here, and then they have one on this side too.
Yeah, and then this is entirely all the backup vehicles. They had, I think if I remember correctly, they had to shut down in succession the electrical grid, one by one, because the tail was too tall and they weren't going to take it apart.
Yep.
I mean, look at this. Manchester and La Cienega. Of course, this guy. Classic dork level.
Oh, he's a reporter for the LA Times.
Ah. Well, no, that's who took the picture.
And it's showing who he was.
Well, no, that's who. And then this, oh my god. Because they had to go across the bridge, I think, because they couldn't go under here. Oh, look. Randy's Donuts. You know what else was there either a couple, about 4 years before, don't you? Iron Man.
Yeah.
Oh, I see how they did it. Okay. So that was actually... So they had one Toyota Tundra truck pulling it. God.
And it took all day.
Oh, God, yeah.
Part of the night.
This is no, it took 2 days. Because they're only at Manchester and the 405 freeway overpass at 11:35 p.m. Like, they've got the full SWAT team out. They've got everything. Yeah, see, this is it. Crossing the overpass, and look, they've got the entire 405 closed off. There is that one lone motorcycle cop standing there taking pictures with the construction crews. That's nuts. See, October 13th at 2:12 p.m. Still moving it. They basically just had a whole freaking big parade. Yeah, we got Crenshaw. Yeah, they had a whole friggin' big awesome parade. Damn.
We're not that's what you see.
See, as it was going through places like Crenshaw Drive, Brooke,
Yep.
it was oh shit, the trees. Oh, damn.
Crenshaw Boulevard near Stalker Street.
You know that was the one day the cops didn't have to worry about any gunfire. Or sorry. 3 days. And they're still working on it.
This window shows how our national treasure Endeavour will be displayed in a fitting permanent home, Samuel Ocean Air and Space Center. 200,000 square foot expansion will feature over 150 hands-on educational exhibits, 100 real aircraft and spacecraft, and 3 galleries. Aerospace and shuttle. The experiences will highlight the wonders of aerospace science and engineering.
So, we're coming back for only one reason. This. Because I'm sorry, we need to show people this.
Yeah. Badly.
Okay, we'll be back. Okay, we're back to the important stuff. Not the ecosystem isn't important, but we can label it under a thing we already need to know.
Well, we.
Oh yes, we can lean over and touch the tires. Yes, we can actually do it.
When tires flew into space on Endeavour's final flight, STS-134.
It's too bad they don't put it in closer to where you can touch the rear tires.
Yeah.
These are made much different than the rear ones. Then we have the nose cone. Oh yes, on the very top of the liquid oxygen tank. It's a lightning striker.
Graphite composite material features chemical reactions to make its composite material strong and heat resistant. Nose cones molded and heated in an oven at temperatures from 350 to 450 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's a lightning rod, then it would feed down to the cable tray. Ah yes, in the rebuild. After the Challenger. I actually found a movie of that. They made an entire motion picture dedicated to that.
I know, I stumbled across it in Plex.
I know, yeah. I stumbled across it a long time ago and I was like, okay. Though I could never watch it because it's too heart-wrenching. But I might change my mind. Ah, yes. Fuel cells. Let's reuse water.
Construction vessel organized a nationwide contest inviting school children from around the country to pick a name for the orbiter. 2,000 children participated in the competition. President George H.W. Bush honored 2 winning schools in a White House ceremony in May 1989. That was a huge PR boom. Space shuttle astronauts and winners of the competition came and used space shuttle over Endeavour.
And then they bolted it onto
2 winning schools from Senatobia Middle School, Mississippi, and Hoover Falls School, Georgia.
Which is the most intelligent press they ever got.
Pretty much.
And they
Oh look,
drove
it's
it.
the poop holder.
Being driven on the street. Oh,
I don't know. Sanitary waste disposal device.
Ah yes, the how to eat food in space,
yeah.
which was always entertaining. Stuff that they took up.
American astronaut Garrett Reisman, now a California resident, flew on an Endeavour mission STS-123 to the International Space Station, where he worked for 95 days. Returning Earth and Discovery STS-124. 2 years later, he flew on Atlantis to the ISS for 12 days, returning on the same mission STS-132. In this case, are some personal items from his trips into space.
Of course, some Nerf football. Because he, of
New York
course,
Giants cap. Garrett is a big fan of Giants.
Mm-hmm. Freaking Slinky.
123 mission patch. Garrett has the same patch worn outside of his own spacesuit during Endeavour STS-123.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's number 16.
Tibetan tiger eye necklace blessed by Dalai Lama for Garrett's smooth flight and safe return. That means a lot right there.
Yep.
Personal hygiene storage bag provided by Russian Space Agency for use on the ISS. And if you can't read Russian, God help you.
St. Joseph of Cupertino, the patron saint of pilots and astronauts brought for good luck. Though this is my jam. God, this is my jam.
Mission control.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this is what you would be seeing every launch mission.
Yep. Here's what the tank looks like, Brooke. So this is the internal wall, and this would be the foam covering it.
Large piece of aluminum lithium metal called an orthogrid, carved from a single metal plate to be part of the wall of the super lightweight space shuttle expel tank. The wall pattern of the metal helps keep it stronger while making a light enough to launch. There are 32 orthogrids made up of liquid hydrogen tanks. One of the ET is 2 power tanks, but the orthogrid on the slow rear is roughly east. Arm half has been cut off.
That right there, half the panel.
Yep. Liquid hydrogen used to fuel the space shuttle main engines slosh against the wall side of the orthogrid. The back of the orthogrid, which forms part of the tank's smooth outside wall, was coated with insulating foam, keep hydrogen at extremely frosty -420 degrees Fahrenheit. During the trip to orbit, surface temperatures on the outside of the foam could reach 1200 degrees Fahrenheit.
They're taking off in a shuttle. That's adorable. Okay, I'm officially glad I brought the battery pack. I'm down to 38% on battery 2. I've got 4 batteries total, thank goodness.
They're currently charging in the pack, right?
They don't charge.
They don't charge.
It's just storage, but I've got two other full chargers.
Alright.
But we are pretty much done with this museum.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, this is when they brought the tank. Here we go. God damn.
Here it is.
Sorry. Ah, it's not finished. We've also got a section of Space Lab.